Hello, this is Priscilla, and welcome to the Conversational Hour. Our topic for today is chocolate the new brain food? There was a little bit of a glitch a second ago, but since no one has arrived, that's even okay. That is okay. Our topic again is chocolate. Is chocolate the new brain food? We will discuss several things today. We will each have an opportunity to improve your comprehension and vocabulary building skills using techniques and strategies that I have provided for you within the lesson. So once the first person arrives, we will begin. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the reading material. Okay, for those of you who are not in the actual classroom, I'm going to go ahead, and go ahead means to start. I will start reading the article for us. The title of the article is Chocolate the New Brain Food? Got a little tongue-tied there. Is chocolate the new brain food? Hot chocolate may improve blood flow to the brain for some. This image was presented to us by Getty Images. Dr. Laura Devigan reports, we've all heard about the healing powers of red wine, in moderation, of course, but a new study suggests hot chocolate may be the elixir of choice for older people who want to keep their minds sharp. I think we have someone here with us now, and that will be Narelle. Narelle, that looks like chocolate cake. I love your image. And today our topic is about chocolate. So how appropriate is that? Welcome. Hello, Helena. How are you today?
Thank you.
Hello, teacher. I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine. It's nice to see you both here. Narelle, why don't you take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we will start with today's lesson. So Narelle is speaking now.
Hi, Priscilla. I missed you. It have been a long time. I didn't see you.
Okay, I was on vacation, but now I am back.
I'm glad you get some rest.
Thank you.
Okay. So welcome.
Thank you. All right. And how's the weather where you are today?
Very hot.
Mm,
Today is Labor Day in the United States.
that is
Uh,
correct.
yes,
And
most people.
where are you calling in from today?
I was home. I didn't left
Well,
anywhere. I mean,
what country are you in today?
oh, I am in the United States.
You're in, you're in New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's right. It has been a while since I've talked with you. Well, yes, today is our holiday, so
Yeah, you promised you will visit me one day.
I promise, I promise, I promise. When we can find that time, when I get maybe 3 or 4 days linked together, I may find myself there in New York. So it's good to see you, Narelle. So let's hear from
Mhm.
Helena now. Helena, how are you?
I'm fine, teacher. Thank
Good.
you.
And where are you calling in from today?
I'm from Brazil, from
Okay.
Rio.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have you with us today. I had
Thank you.
started to read, but I will let you read. I'll start with Narelle. Narelle, we will have numbers as you are very familiar with. So you will be number one, and oh, you are, and we'll have Helena to read as number 2. As others come in, we will assign numbers. So if you would read for us, Narelle.
Sure. Dr. Lara Devgan reports, we have all heard about the healing powers of red wine, in moderation, of course. But a new study suggests hot chocolates may be the elixir of choice for older people.
Okay, sorry.
That's
Okay,
okay. For older people who want to keep their minds sharp.
good. And Helena, can you read number 2?
Sure. The study of 60 older adults linked 30 days of twice daily hot cocoa consumption to a 30% bump in memory and thinking abilities among those who had impaired blood flow to their brains.
Okay, and I'll read 3. Study author Dr. Farzaneh Saran, a neurologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital and assistant professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School, said chocolate seemed to boost the brain's blood supply, citing an 8.3% increase in blood flow after a month's worth of hot cocoa. Now I will have Narelle read. Narelle, would you read?
Sure. Okay. The areas of your brain that are working need more fuel. She said, describing a phenomenon known as neurovascular coupling, which refers to the intimate link between better blood flow and improved neuronal activity.
Helena?
In people with impaired blood flow, she added, cocoa may be beneficial by delivering more fuel. Chocolate may boost brain power. While more research is needed to tease out the exact mechanism by which chocolate boosts blood flow, Saran said that the antioxidants and caffeine may certainly play a role.
Hello, Ali. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Good. Ali, could you read here for us, please?
Yeah. But there is also the possibility that chocolate just makes us feel good. It stimulates the pleasure center of the brain, said Dr. Peter McCluskey, a consultant cardiologist.
Cardiologist?
Cardiologist,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at Providence hospitals and medical center in Southfield and Newry Beach, who was not involved in the study.
For those tempted to self-medicate with a tasty box of truffles, Saran and colleagues caution that the dietary tweak isn't for everyone. The people who need this the most, she said, meaning people with diabetes, high blood pressure, and tendencies toward vascular dementia, can't really afford to take in more sugar, fat, and calories. Narelle?
Sure. McCullough agreed people extrapolate to think more is better. He said, stressing that chocolate contains many substances, including sugar and fat, which may negate any potential health benefits.
Thank you. All right. Well, we just lost Ali. Hopefully he will return. Helena, did you understand 80% of what you read? Of what was read?
80? Yeah, I sure did.
Okay, Narelle, did you understand 80% of what was read?
Yes, I did as well.
Okay, so what I did was, as you both know, most of my classes are for the advanced, beginner, and intermediate students. Today, this activity was designed primarily to help the beginning student understand what the text was about. Since you both understand 80% of what the text was about, your goal is to practice on reading. However, I want you to sound as if you're having conversation. This conversation is exactly what the text was about. The only difference is you'll just be reading it as in a conversation. And for the beginner student that did not or may not have understood what was read, by listening to this conversation, a better understanding would be obtained. So until someone else returns, we'll just go with A and B. Narelle, you can be A, and Helena, you can be B. So what your goal is, not so much in understanding the text, but practicing speaking with the aha. You may start.
Okay. I have heard something about healing powers. Is it true that red wine has such power?
Well, let's think about this for a moment. Red wine is good, but it must be taken in moderation.
What exactly is moderation?
Moderation is to do something in a small way.
I think I understand. I recently heard that hot chocolate may be the elixir of choice. You are up.
Oh,
Or
You are absolutely correct. But do you know what the word elixir actually means?
I'm glad you asked. I did not want to appear dumb. So what is the next year?
Teacher, what's the pronunciation of? Is it elixir?
elixir, elixir,
Elixir.
elixir. Mhm.
Okay. An elixir is a substance, usually a liquid, with a magical power to cure, improve, or act as a preservative.
I think your voice went away. Helena, could you try again?
Okay. An elixir is a substance, usually a liquid, with a magical power to cure, improve, or act as a preservative.
I'm not sure if I understand. Can you give me an example of an elixir?
Well, you are definitely asking great questions. An example of an elixir is chocolate. You can also think of a combination of medicines used to treat symptoms such as a cold or an allergy, hay fever, headache, or even a breathing illness.
Good.
So what should take or eat? Where is it? Oh, okay. So sorry. So who should take or eat the chocolate? And why should they eat, drink, or take the chocolate?
Well, the most recent study suggests that old people should use chocolate to keep their mind sharp.
Keep their mind sharp? Interesting. What exactly is a sharp mind? This sounds like an idiom.
Well, it is an idiom actually. The meaning of keeping one's mind sharp is to say that person is alert and well informed. This person can participate in a meaningful way in situations.
Okay, thank you for reading that. Now, this was the first passage where it reads, Dr. Lauren DeVegan reports, we've all heard about the healing powers of red wine, in moderation, of course, but a new study suggests hot chocolate may be the elixir of choice for older people who want to keep their minds sharp. All of this conversation that the two of you just had was about this first passage. The intent was for the beginner to fully understand what this part was about. And basically, it's just asking about healing powers, a little discussion about red wine, and chocolate may be an elixir of choice to help older people keep their minds sharp. Is that what you pretty much interpreted from this dialogue that the two of you had?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second sentence that you all read, the study of 60 older adults linked 30 days of twice daily hot cocoa consumption to a 30% bump in memory and thinking abilities among those who had impaired blood flow to their brains. Now you become C and D. Helena, you can become C, and Narelle, you can become D, and you're just discussing this little sentence. You may start now.
Okay. I understand that a recent study showed that older adults' consumption of hot cocoa twice daily bumped a 30% increase in memory.
Really? A 30% bump? Wow, that sounds like an increase of 1% each day over the period of 3 days, right?
Yeah, the study linked the success to the ability to the other people being able to think better. So you see, when something is linked, this only means it is connected to something, as in this study. The older people were linked to a sharper mind for those who drank hot cocoa.
Now that is interesting. Maybe my uncle's abilities will improve. If his ability improves, he can do more. Can you tell me something about impaired blood flow?
Your uncle's ability to do more can improve if nothing stops the blood from flowing to the brain. You see, student B, the blood moves from. Oops, I'm sorry.
But it should
You
have
see,
been,
student B is her name.
yeah,
Oh,
student B is her
yeah.
name, but it
Okay.
should be student C.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, okay, now I get it. I'm sorry, teacher. You see, student B. Oh, what's your name? Narelle. You see, Narelle,
good.
the blood moves or flows in your veins. When something stops the flow, that is what is known as an impairment. Once the impairment, or what is also known as a damaged or blocked area, the blood will flow easily.
I am understanding what you are saying. An impairment. Where I am.
Oops.
Okay. An impairment stops something from happening, as in the case of the blood flowing to the brain. So once the impairment was removed, the 30% bump showed up in the study.
Okay, so there again, we had the conversation of that small passage to help the language learner follow along with what we were reading. So now we're going to ask Thar to read here. Thar, will you please start to read here? Steady.
Hi teacher, but actually it's not so clear to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not exactly sure do you mean make it bigger or what? Make it larger for you to see?
Yes, please. Because my
Okay.
screen is small.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, good.
Okay. The study author Dr. Farz Farzain Sornot. I don't know how I say the name.
Okay, that's fine.
A neurologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital and assistant professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School, said Scolate seemed to boost the brain's blood supply,
Mm-hmm.
setting an 8.3% increase in blood flow after a month's worth of hot cocoa. Stop.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so student E will be Norel and student F will be Helena. So you'll say Norel, the author of Neurologist. Student E is going to be Helena.
Oh, okay. Narelle, the author of Neurologist study is Dr. Far.
Well,
What's his name?
you'll have to do what I would do. I just sounded out. I said Farzaneth. Farzaneth Surround.
Farzaneth Surround.
What type of study does a neurologist do?
For starters, a neurologist studies the nervous system. Dr. Farzaneth Surround studied at Brigham and Women's Hospital and is the assistant professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School.
It seems that Dr. Surround has a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The study of neurology is very intense, paying close attention to the neurons and the circuit system of the body.
So what does neurology have to do with chocolate?
Another great question. According to Dr. Surround, the neurologist Chocolate seemed to boost the brain's blood supply. In fact, Dr. Sarand cited an 8.3% increase in blood flow after a month of consuming hot cocoa.
Really? Are you serious? My uncle and my aunt might benefit from this study. You know, they both are in the late 70s. After only 1 month, there is an increase or an improvement in the blood flow.
Okay, so we're going to have Thar, could you please read for us here? Thar, could you read for us here?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
The area. Okay, I start.
Yes, please.
Okay, the areas. Okay, the areas of your brain that are working need more fuel. She said, describing a phenomenon known as
Phenomenon.
phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay, phenomenon known as a neuro. Oh, this is so hard vocabulary.
Okay, that's fine, but you'll be able
Okay.
to pick up the vocabulary when you hear them doing the discussion. Okay.
I don't see the screen. Okay, it's now okay. No, it's okay, but I don't know how I say it.
Neurovascular coupling.
Okay.
Neurovascular coupling.
Neurovascular coupling, which refers to the intimate link between better blood flow and improved. Okay.
Neuronal.
Okay. Neuronal activity.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure who was which one, but now switch up again. G. I think Helena will be G, and H will be Norel. All right.
Okay. It might be worth a try to get your aunt and uncle to drink more hot cocoa. Dr. Sarand stated that the areas of your brain that are working need more fuel.
Dr. Sarand.
Continue, Norel.
Dr. Sarand sounds like he knows something about a car, especially when she says the brain needs fuel. This is an interesting phenomenon. What I mean by this is that a phenomenon is something different and new.
Yeah, you could call this a phenomenon. Dr. Sarand is describing a new situation known as neurovascular coupling.
What new? I don't understand.
Calm down. The phenomenon is neurovascular coupling. This only means...
Tell me what it means. What do you think it means?
Ooh, this is hard.
Well, the vascular system has to do with the nervous system, so it has to do with the nervous system. This only means it has to do with the nervous system.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all the connection in your neuron, in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
The chemical in the brain that neuron connects the cell in the brain, and then the chemical in the cell can go from one neuron to another.
All right.
Continue. I'm not sure whose turn it is, but go on.
It's Norel.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. The better the neurovascular coupling, the better the flow of blood and improved neuronal activity. I can just see my aunt and my uncle now, tossing away their can and starting to fall in love all over again. Ha ha ha, imagine that.
All because of cocoa. Okay, Thar, could you read for us, please?
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yes, please read.
And people with impaired blood flow, she added, cocoa may be beneficial by delivering more fuel. Chocolate may boost brain power, while more research is needed to tease out the exact mechanism mechanism by which chocolate boosts blood flow. So, Zoran said that antioxidant and
Antioxidants.
and
Antioxidants.
okay, antioxidant and caffeine may certainly play a role. Stop.
Okay. All right. So now, oh, well, just look. It's either yellow or green, whichever one you want to be.
You ask me, teacher?
No, no, no. I'm talking to Dorel and Helena.
Okay. I can be student I.
Okay. Start.
Okay, don't laugh yet, my friend. Studies have shown that people with impaired blood flow has an increase in activity, any activity. Cocoa may be beneficial by delivering more fuel. So, you see, the better the fuel, the better the mileage. Do you see my point? Do you get my point?
Well, that is putting it mildly. I get your point. So you are saying chocolate may boost brain power? This is most interesting. Do you believe more research is needed?
Of course, more research is needed. Just like anything else, research is needed to tease out the exact mechanism to understand how the chocolate affects the blood flow.
You mentioned the word tease. What does tease out the exact mechanism mean exactly?
Alright, think about it like this. When people are dating, like your aunt and uncle, they would playfully tease each other, right? Well, this is what is done with the chocolate. Different things will be tried to find out exactly what attracts chocolate to cause people to become more energetic.
Okay, say no more. I don't want to think of my aunt and uncle under these circumstances.
Okay, so one final thing you might find interesting. Dr. Saran said that antioxidants and caffeine may certainly play a role in the increase of getting blood to the brain.
You got that right. My aunt and uncle will always drink their coffee that is full of or caffeine. I don't know about anti. What was that again?
Antioxidants. These are substances that prevent us from getting old.
Well, these are instances that will stimulate the brain and create more fuel and energy. Something like that. Okay.
Okay.
I
Fine.
understand now.
Okay, so can we get Thor to read?
Okay. But there is also the possibility that chocolate just makes us feel good. It it stimulates the pleasure center of the brain, said Dr. Peter McAuliffe, a consultant cardiologist at Providence Hospital and Medical Center in Southfield and Novi Beach, who was not involved in the study.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Okay.
ladies, would you start again? Student I and J.
Okay. Go ahead, Elena.
Okay, am I student I? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you know that there is a possibility that chocolate just makes a person feel good?
Oh, really? Could you tell me a little more?
Of course. Chocolate stimulates the pleasure centers of the brain. A stimulant tends to add excitement or agitation to an environment. In this case, the brain activity is stimulated and an individual becomes more animated.
That explains why I appear to be more alert when I drink caffeine, right?
That is absolutely correct. Dr. Peter McAuliffe is a consultant cardiologist at Providence Hospitals, and he was involved in this study.
Do you mean that Dr. McCullough discovered chocolate?
No, Dr. McCullough did not discover chocolate, but he was involved in the study of the effects of chocolate as a stimulant to the pleasure center of the brain. The word involved only means that he participated in this study.
Oh, okay, I get it. Involved is just like you're being engaged in this conversation with me to help me understand some of the benefits of chocolate.
Yeah, you are 100% correct.
Okay, Thar, could you read for us?
But teacher, I think it is related about medical terms. Is that right? So,
Well, it's medical terms, but it's more about chocolate. So what the purpose of this, Thar, was when we first read the entire article, the activity was designed for those students who are beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So Helena and Norel are actually engaging in the conversation as if you had no knowledge of what this is about. So it's talking about how chocolate may be of value to someone who has a problem with being alert. It's not so much that it is medical, but not so much, because you can use any of these words as in any of my stories. You can use any of these words, but it is, I guess, typically more medically related. But as I look at the word tempted, self-medicate, tasty, truffles, colleagues, caution, and pressure, those words are not necessarily medical terms, but I want you to understand the words in the context. In this context, it is medical, I should say. Okay?
okay, thank you. For those tempted to self-medicate with a tasty box of truffles, Sorrent and colleagues cautioned that the dietary
Dietary.
dietary tweak isn't for everyone. The people who need this the most, she said, meaning people with di- diabetes, high blood pressure,
And
uh,
tendencies,
and tendencies toward vascular
dementia.
dementia can really afford to take in more sugar, fat, and calories.
Okay.
Okay.
Student K&L. Thor, if you would try to follow the conversation, because in each comment that the students make, they are describing the words and what that sentence means that you just read. Okay?
Your voice
Student,
breaking. Okay, teacher, your voice breaking up to me. I don't know. What about other of you? If
I,
they
s-
hear
I
you?
said, I said, if you listen to the dialogue very carefully between Norel and Helena, they will describe everything that is in that passage that you just read so that you can understand the vocabulary and the context in which these
Okay.
words are used.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
K&L?
Okay, in a few minutes, I must leave and take care of my patients. Do you have any other questions that I might be able to answer for you?
Well, maybe just a few. First, I want to thank you for your time. I was thinking about eating a box of truffles a little later today. This seems to be a good way to self-medicate myself. What do you think of this idea?
Well, on the surface, this may appear to be a good idea. However, according to Dr. Surround and his colleagues, this dietary tweak is not for everyone.
So, who is it? Who is it for then? I hope I am included. You know, for my record, I am a diabetic.
Unfortunately, the people who need the chocolate the most are the ones that can't really afford to take in more sugar, fat, and calories. This would include you because of your diabetic condition, people with high blood pressure, and those with vascular dementia or a poor blood circulation system.
Why is it that anything that sounds good tastes good or look good is off limits to me?
it's it is not that you can't have any of these things. It just means that your chances of being in the best health suggest that you resist these or at least stay within a very limited distance of chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Thar, could you read for us?
Yes, of course. Okay. My colleague agreed. Pe- okay. People, okay. My colleague agreed. People extrapolate to think more is better. He said, stressing that chocolate contains many substances, including sugar and fat, which may negate any potential health benefits.
I really must go now, but appreciate all of your questions, and if you need to come back for another consultation, please call the office and make another appointment.
Thank you. I will. Also, I promise not to forget how much you have stressed that chocolate,
Yeah, it's chocolate, sorry.
chocolate contains many substances such as sugar and fat, which may very well uh, negate any potential health benefits.
That is right. Remember, if you extrapolate or make any assumptions about what I have said today, you are diabetic, and most of what I have said is not good for your health. So please do not negate your scheduled routine of health maintenance in search for potential health benefits. They are not available for people with vascular dementia.
Thank you for your time and, of course, the valuable advice.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Thar, for that contribution. Now we come to that area where we actually talk about what we have learned or understood, and I'll share with you what the goal was for the class. Again, the goal for the class was for you to experience authentic dialogue. Now, of course, I wrote everything out, but if you had a lot of knowledge about this information, Helena and Norel, do you feel that you would be able to pretty much say some of these things in an authentic voice as you clearly demonstrated from your reading? If you had not had to read it and you were very familiar with the contents of the story, could you have engaged and felt confident with that dialogue? Helena?
Yeah, I think I would, teacher. I think I
Yeah,
would be able to.
I think so too. What about you, Norel?
Yeah, same here.
Good. And you both did wonderful with that. Um, Thor, what you may have heard, I hope that you will get from this conversation is that I put in the, okay, I understand. This is how authentic conversations will go when you're talking at length. It is not complimentary to the person that you're listening to never say anything other than just a response. So it's always good to say, I see, I understand. Could you tell me more? Or thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. So you go on in that way. Not in every sentence, but periodically you will say something like that. What questions can I answer for either of you about the dialogue or the contents of the story? It seems that Norel and Helena has a good understanding. I know, Thar, you came in at the midpoint.
I'm sorry, teacher. I didn't get it because I get it is late. I mean, I not
All
hear
right.
from you. And
So,
second, it is so hard to me because there's a medical terms and I didn't know anything about it. So I'm so sorry about this.
oh, don't apologize. And again, I want to say that the way that I did this lesson was to reinforce for those who weren't familiar with terms as the dialogue progressed, each term that was introduced was reinforced by one of the participants saying something about diabetics, What does that exactly mean? How does that affect me? What is vascular dementia? Oh, vascular dementia only means whatever it means. So each point, it becomes clear what it means. So I'm going to ask Narelle and Helena, what did you think? This is not the final word part of the lesson, but what did you think about that type of dialogue between the two of you, which really restated everything that was in the text? Do you think that that should be something that would help the beginner learner or the more pre-intermediate? Tell me, how did you feel about that?
Um, I think it depends on the topic. I think this topic is a little bit complicated for beginners. In my mother tongue, Portuguese, there are a lot of words that are cognates with the medical terms in English, so it wouldn't be hard for a beginner student who speaks Portuguese to understand, but I don't know about other languages. So probably if those words are very different, they're not similar, comparing
Okay.
English to someone else's mother tongue,
Okay.
that may be something that complicates the comprehension.
Okay. Well, I was taking that into consideration when I was breaking it down. What I wanted to do was share with almost any content. The context is what changes the words, but the words will still pretty much mean the same. When we talk about vascular could be something associated with just doing a run or a jog. If your vascular system, if you've got weak veins or blood flow, you probably shouldn't run in a marathon. If you talk about pressure from your job, it's not necessarily medically related, but I was trying to give an understanding of a variety of words, but I got your point. Okay, so I think the next time I do a complete dialogue, it will be something more, even more simple that everyone pretty much can relate to. I have done a story about the red ball, like a basketball or ball that you throw. That the vocabulary is quite simple, but the dialogue would be there. Okay, so Norelle, what comments would you like to provide to me so that I can make the next lesson even better?
Well, in my view, I think uh, that this reading and the topic could be a great help for beginner because regardless the medical term, the general idea is basic. I mean, it could be understood by anyone who is like a high beginner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this will fit in the high beginner stage.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and it will be a great way for them to learn new technical term if
Mm-hmm.
they don't know it.
Okay.
But yeah, if they know it, that's gonna be fine for them.
Okay. Well, the next time, and I will do this probably in 2 weeks, the same lesson in 2 weeks, I will add pictures to associate with the lesson. Again, I wanted the students to understand how dialogue, I want also the student to understand how an authentic dialogue goes. An authentic dialogue goes with, I
Yeah,
understand.
yes,
So it's not just reading it, because when you're giving something to someone to read, they pretty much just read it straight through without giving a ha, that's kind of, oh, that, or you're just joking. But give it that type of authenticity that this is how a conversation goes, and I wanted them to feel it. So I'm going to go back and just for the sake of where is it? Thar, I still just want you to listen, and I'm going to do the first two couplings with Helena, then I'll do the next two with Noelle once I can figure out where it is. Here it is here. All right, so we're going to go back up to the top. Noelle, you will be whatever's in yellow. We'll just forego what is student A and B. Okay, so you'll be student A, I'll be student B. Helena,
Yeah.
would you be student A? I'll be student B.
Okay.
Try to sound as authentic. You don't have to read it word for word, but still stay with pretty much what I've got.
Okay. I've heard something about healing powers. Is it true that red wine has such powers?
Hmm. Well, let me think about that for a moment. Yes, red wine is good, but it must be taken in moderation.
What exactly is moderation?
Well, moderation means that you're going to do something in a very small way.
Well, I think I understand. I recently heard that hot chocolate may be the elixir of choice.
You're absolutely correct. But do you know what the word elixir actually means?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I did not want to appear dumb. So, what is an elixir?
Well, an elixir is just a substance, usually a liquid, with a magical power to cure, improve, or act as a preservative.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if I understand. Can you give me an example of an elixir?
Wow, you're definitely asking some great questions. An example of an elixir is nothing more than chocolate. You can also think of a combination of medicines used to treat symptoms, such as, remember sometimes when you have a cold and you go, or a hay fever, or a headache, or even a breathing illness, that's when you use an elixir.
Oh, so who should take or eat chocolate? And why should they eat, drink, or take the chocolate?
Well, the most recent study suggests that old people would be the most beneficiaries of chocolate. It helps to keep their minds sharp.
Keep their minds sharp. Interesting. What exactly is a sharp mind? This sounds like an idiom.
Yeah, we get idioms all the time. Actually, it is an idiom. The meaning of keeping one's mind sharp is to say the person is alert and well informed. That says that this person can also participate in meaningful situations. Okay, so we'll stop there. And that's how the dialogue, if we weren't reading, it's pretty much seemed authentic. So now, Norel, would you be student C and you be yellow and I'll be green. Okay?
Okay.
You may begin.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand that a recent study showed that older adults' consumption of hot cocoa twice daily bumped a 30% increase in memory.
Really? A 30%? Wow, that sounds like an increase of about 1% every day. Is that right?
Well, the study linked the success to the ability to older people being able to think better. So you see, when something is linked, this only means it is connected to something. To something. As in this study, the older people were linked to a sharper mind for those who drank hot cocoa.
That's interesting. Maybe my uncle's ability will improve. You know, he needs to cut the grass more. If his ability improves, he can do more and I can stay home. Can you tell me something about impaired blood flow?
Yeah, your uncle's ability to do more can improve if nothing stops the blood flow from flowing to the brain. You see, Priscilla, the blood moves or flows in your veins. When something stops the flow, that is what is known as an impairment. You see, once the impairment of what is also known as a damaged or blocked area, the blood will flow easily.
Wow, I'm understanding what you're saying. An impairment stops something from happening, as in the case of the blood flowing into the brain. So, once the impairment was removed, the 30% bump showed up in the study.
You can say that again.
Okay, so great. So that was the authentic conversation piece that I was trying to get the students or those who were listening from the side to understand how a conversation, an authentic conversation goes, and it keeps the person that you're speaking with willing to participate in the conversation. If it seems that you're not really interested, you're not saying, I agree, or something to that effect, you tend to lose the people that you're getting. In your other classes, we know this to do this as teachers, to say, even if we're not even sure what the language learner is saying, we'll say, aha, tell me more about that. I see. I think I understand your point. Can you tell me something more? We're really saying we don't understand, but we want to know. We want to understand. We want to know more. So that is what is considered to be authentic conversation. What I think my language learners will tell me is that they have technical problems. Instead of just say, could you explain that again? Or tell me more about that, Priscilla. That's very interesting. I don't know that you're not having technical problems, but sometimes I wonder if that is the case. So you can always try to find a different way of saying, could you repeat something? Now, this brings us to the top of the hour. I want to thank each of you for participating today. Helena, thank you very much. Narelle, thank you. And Thar, thank you for coming as well. It is top of the hour. So now, Thar, if you can give us final words for today. Give us final words for today.
Baba, yeah,
Okay.
sorry, teacher, but I have just to have one question to Helena.
Okay.
I think Helena is a native speaker, not from Portugal.
Okay, I'm not sure. Are you a native speaker of Portuguese? Or are you
Okay,
native?
No.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Thurman. I am a Portuguese native speaker. Well, thank you a lot.
I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I do final word. Okay, bye, Thar. Final word, Helena?
Teacher, it's my first class with you, so it was a great pleasure, and I really loved the tips you gave us about sounding natural in a conversation. That was really useful. Thank you.
Good. And even in other classes, when you're reading the script, you can always throw that in interesting, wherever it's appropriate to make it a little more lively. Thank you, Helena.
Thank you,
Narelle,
teacher.
final words, please.
Always interesting. Thank you very much. And
And
yeah, the class. Thank you.
I love the chocolate cake.
Yeah, I love chocolate. I learned about chocolate today. And
yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Hope to see you all later this week. Have a nice night. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
And hasta la vista, Helena.
Oh, hasta la vista, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
And ciao, Narelle.
Bye, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye.